Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of our TicTacToe in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript tutorial. So in this part we're going to add some jQuery and JSS, or some jQuery and JavaScript. And in order to do that, the first thing we're going to want to do is create a file, new file. Let's call that app.js. Okay, so this file will hold all of our JavaScript. So now let's move over to index.html. We're going to need to reference that app.js file. So we can say script and then src is equal to app.js. So this basically just references the app.js file. And then we're also going to want to use jQuery. So in order to do that, we can just grab the CDN from off the web. So we can say jQuery CDN, go down here, just copy this, and then paste it. Okay. So now let's move into our actual app.js file. So the first thing we're going to want to do is write down $document .ready function curly braces and then a semicolon. So basically what this says is when the page is ready, then call this function and then do whatever's inside of the function. Okay, so just to test this out, we can say alert hello world. Let's save that. Alright, so that works. And so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a for loop. But this for loop will not be in JavaScript, it'll be in jQuery. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to $, and then .grid children each, and then inside of this we're going to do function curly braces semicolon. So basically what this says is it's saying for everything. Okay, so it's calling the div element with the class of grid. So that's what .grid means. So we can go over here. This class equals grid, so it's calling this element. And then it's saying .children, so it's iterating through each one of its children, so each one of these cells. And then .each, that's just the iteration. And then for each of those, for each iteration, we're going to want to call this function. So inside of this function, we can say this .click and then function curly bracket. So basically what this says is for this cell, if you click on this cell, then call this function. So let's say, just to test it out, we can say alert hi. So let's see if that works. So I'm going to click on one of these cells and it says hi. That's perfect. Okay. So now we can just say, before we write anything inside of there, let's create a new function. We're going to call this function click. So function click, and then we're going to pass to it a cell. So basically what this will do is it will operate on the cell whenever a user clicks on a cell. So we can just say click right here, and then for the parameter we can pass to it this, which is just this current cell. and then we can say, so first let's create a variable. Let's call this var xTurn, and that'll equal true. So this will just determine whether it's x's turn if it's o's turn. And so if xTurn is true, then cell dot attribute data piece x. So basically what this is saying is, if xTurn is true, then set this cell's attribute called data piece, which is what we created in the last episode, set that attribute to x. And then we can say cell.html, we can set that to x as well. Okay, and then we can say else. So if xTurn is false, which means it would be o's turn, then we can just copy these two lines, change this to o, and change this to o. Now let's see if that works. Oh, what I forgot to do is set xTurn to false, and then set xTurn to true. Alright, now let's see if it works. X, O, X, O, X, O, X, O, X. Okay, so there's a big problem here, and the problem is that it doesn't determine the winners. And so in our next episode, we're going to create a function to make it determine the winner. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments. Please like and subscribe for more tutorials like this. And goodbye. I'll see you next time.